So, the most dangerous place for a leader to live is in a room full of people who always agree with him. This is Damien, and this is episode 34 of Leading at 47, Leadership Life, and everything in between. And what I mean by that is, as you move in your career, people start editing themselves around you. They laugh a little bit louder. They hesitate to point out your blind spots. And if you aren't careful, you'll end up leading on like a version of reality that's not even true. It's like a simulation. And I got a phenomenal question in the comments the other day, and it asked about what are the characteristics of a truth teller? What are the characteristics of having someone around you that doesn't necessarily agree with you all the time? They're not a yes man, they're not a yes woman, they're not a yes person. They call you on your stuff, they give you feedback. And, um, you know, these are individuals who hire people that are just a reflection of them. Don't get me wrong, you should build alliances with people. You should have people in your circle that you trust and you know that, like, if you bring them in your organization, they're going to get work done because you've seen them get work done over the past 10 years, 20 years, whatever time frame it is. And um, I would hope that those people are truth tellers, not yes people. But like when you think about the truth tellers and what characteristics actually exist, there's a handful of them that I think through, and I think about, for example, my best friend. He's a truth teller to the core. Actually, my entire friend group is a truth teller to the core. How do you get those same people to tell the truth about you at work? And there's a couple things that I think should show up from a truth teller. Some people that withhold information in the spirit of being nice, that's actually a disservice. That's not a good thing. That's not a good look. And as a leader, my second point is, as a leader, you need to create the safety, the psychological safety for people uh, to disagree with you. You need to give them permission. And how does that sound? Like, you know, not what feedback do you have for me? Because a lot of times people are like, oh, no, it was great. One of the questions that I ask is, what did you take away from that? What did you take away from that presentation? If you had it in three sentences, or uh, like, how did I show up in this particular moment, and be very, very specific and ask for like, I asked how. I didn't say, what feedback do you have? That is important to do. And the other thing that I think about is, if like, what I call it, like the silent warning. And if everybody's silent and nobody has disagreed with you for an extended period of time, let's say a week or a month, um, you don't have the perfect plan. You have a culture of fear. Like, that's kind of how I see it. And I wrote down a couple things that, like, embody a truth teller, and I want to walk through that really quick. Um, the friend you knew before you had the office and the authority. So it's like, these people aren't impressed by your title, but they tell you when you're being a jerk. They tell you when you're not being friendly. Um, then you have, like, people that are actually on your team. They could be a direct report, or they could be like, they might not even be a direct report. They could just be some sort of not some sort of. They could be a change agent within the organization, um, that is vocal, and they've given you feedback before, and um, they value the mission more than their own comfort. They're able to speak up on it, but you build trust with this person, and I've seen this work before with me. And I'm like, look, I'm trying to build trust. I want to tell you this. And it's not out of me being spiteful. It's more about me giving you a pulse of what I'm hearing, right? And last but not least, we got to have that peer mentor. Like to me, a peer mentor is just as powerful as any truth teller. And that peer mentor knows you better than your leader does because they see you in action often. And you should really lean into that peer mentor. And if you don't have like a peer mentor that you can trust, that's something that's a different conversation, but it is important having a peer that you can trust. So, with all that being said, uh, think about those that you interact with, think about those that you trust, think about those that you've built safety around, and how do they show up around you, and how do they give you feedback in the spirit of making you better? That's one to think about. Thank you for sending the question over. I think it's a phenomenal question of what embodies a truth teller. Now go tell your truth teller to tell the truth about you.